So I wanted to do a typical react and review video for this episode, but when I started writing the script I found myself having more than usual to review, and that began overshadowing the reactions. So this time I'm going to be doing more of a traditionally styled review. One thing to note though, I will not be making any Shooby-Doo references in this video. I feel like I have to get that out of the way first. First, I have to mention that the rules for the cutie map seem to be slowly getting less solid. In Seasons 5 and 6 it was simple, it only called the main 6 whose friendship magic actually activated it. Then in Season 7, things started to get mixed up. Starlight was called, and later on it was Spike. Starlight could maybe be justified since she was one of the ponies who used their magic to reactivate the map. Spike is Twilight's #1 assistant and was there when the map first activated, but I'm having a harder time justifying his call than I am Starlight's. And now we have the Cutie Mark Crusaders being summoned. They've had no actual connection to the map at all until this point, so yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are anymore. I suppose it's only a matter of time before the map summons, say, Lyra and Bonbon for a mission. Twilight deciding to go with the Crusaders on the mission is a smart thing for a few different reasons. The first is mentioned in the episode. It's probably not a good idea for them to be going so far by themselves just yet. Secondly, it shows how Twilight's character has developed since the last few times she wasn't called on a mission. She's handling the situation very calmly and seems to accept that she's supposed to stay out of the way of whatever the Crusaders need to do. At least until they're unable to solve the situations themselves. And of course, for extra laughs, we get to see her trying and failing to justify her trip with research.
The hippogriffs all once lived happily on Mount Eris, but when the Storm King invaded, they used a magic pearl to turn into sea ponies and escape to the underwater safety of Sequestria.
Thanks for the exposition, Applebloom. Excuse me, what exactly are those things that the ponies are walking on right there?
I just found stairs!
You know, the fact that stairs actually exist on Mount Eris kind of makes Silverstream's excitement about them a little bit weirder. The way she talks about them implies that they're kind of a foreign concept to her, and General Seaspray's reaction later on reinforces that idea. But here they are, out in the open. So what gives? Anyways, to me the main conflict of the episode seems to mix a few different real-life situations together. Terramar not being sure where he wants to live appears to be based on the situation of having divorced parents, while his feeling like he needs to choose between being a hippogriff and a merpony feels like it could be a metaphor for people who might be struggling with their gender identity. Now, neither of those situations applies to me, so I don't think I'd be the best judge on how well those topics were handled, and I'm just gonna have to review this episode at face value. More on that later, though.
We do this every weekend. Hippogriffs really like being hippogriffs.
This kind of feels like it confirms my theory about hippogriffs being naturally excitable.
Yeah, awesome! I love this!
I don't care how long it's been, Sweetie Belle is still adorable. And now we get to probably the most enjoyable part of the episode, Merpony Scootaloo.
Woohoo! Yeah! This is awesome!
This was fun for me to watch for multiple reasons. The first reason is the clearer and more obvious one. Outside of dreams, this is probably the closest Scootaloo has gotten to actually truly flying, and she's clearly having the time of her life. Her unrestrained delight at all of this is a joy to behold, but if you think about it, it can also be kind of feelsy. And I cannot believe I just said the word feelsy. In all likelihood, Scootaloo probably won't ever be able to fly, so seeing her so happy at the next best thing can be equal parts heart-wrenching and heart-warming. After the scene ended, I found myself wanting more. The second reason I enjoyed watching this is because I feel like her reaction to becoming a merpony was the most natural out of all the characters. Seriously, their biology was temporarily changed, and most everyone here is like, oh, okay, cool, back to business. I guess that's fine for Terramar, since this is a regular aspect of his life, and this had happened to Twilight before, so the novelty probably wouldn't be as high. But I can't make any excuses for Applebloom and Sweetie Belle. They essentially just look excited for a moment and then go straight back to what they were doing. I know I'm probably overthinking this, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that most everyone would probably react to temporary biology changes in one of 3 different ways, depending on their knowledge of its temporariness and the nature of the transformation itself. Number 1, oh sweet mercy, what is happening to my body? What is this? I don't even... Number 2, whoa, okay, that's interesting. Hey, what is this? How do these move? Okay, Or number 3, oh my goodness, I have one of these and I can do this now, this is so freaking cool! I kinda had a similar thought while I was watching the movie. Most of the characters, except Pinkie Pie and maybe Rainbow Dash, are rather casual about their hind legs suddenly being replaced with a freaking fishtail. So seeing someone with a natural reaction like this is kind of a nice change of pace for me. This has kinda turned into a rant on Merpony Scootaloo, so let's go back to the main theme. The fight between Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo is kind of sudden and feels like it comes out of nowhere, and then it's resolved pretty quickly, so I'm not exactly sure what its purpose was. After that, the episode resolves in a fairly straightforward way. They realize Terramar was pretty much making a mountain out of a molehill, and he discovers he doesn't have to choose one side of himself over the other. The Crusaders make one final joke, and roll credits. Overall, I think the episode was pretty good, actually. I might be biased because of the presence of Merpony Scootaloo, and of Merponies in general, really, but I liked it. It's always neat to see the Crusaders as they slowly mature, and the message seems decent enough on the surface. But like I said, I'm gonna leave the deeper interpretations to others who may be more familiar with the situations this could be a metaphor for. Alright, now that all that's done, I think it's high time for me to go do a video on Equestria Girl's Forgotten Friendship. I'm gonna go work on that. See y'all later.